My mother and my mother-in-law both purchased their first homes last Friday.
Oh, that's
It was a big day.
fantastic. Yeah. And they had a fantastic agent, I'm sure. Were they both here in Louisville?
My mom is in Louisville. My husband's mom is in Florence.
Okay. Congrats. That's wonderful.
Molly Mount is going to show me how to lift like a champion this week. I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. One more. One more.
What you
Nothing
focus
good.
on, what you focus on expands. So I was having a tough time last week coming back from vacation and focusing on work. And I finally did it, between the weekend and today. And I set up my schedule starting this week and everything. And all of a sudden, I have my goal set and calls start to pour in and text messages start to pour in with, hey, this person needs to buy and this person needs to sell. And here's my friend's phone number and ta. And definitely like it's magical. What you focus on expands. So
Absolutely true. I couldn't believe that more. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Lucy. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the birthdays. Today is Miss Catherine Klein's birthday. She's January 19th. Tomorrow is Matt Oakley's birthday. On the 22nd, Katie McDaniel celebrates a birthday. And then the 25th is shared by Shirley Mendez, Patty Beard, and Scott Pinella. So say happy birthday when you see these wonderful folks running around. All right, we've got some welcome to some new faces. We have big welcomes that we want to throw out. And first is Candace Jarimchek, sponsored by Heather Witt, and Mackenzie Hawkins is coming over to the Market Center, sponsored by Kim Robinson. And last, Elaine Prince is sponsored by Christy Boland. Welcome, all three of you. Let us know if you need any help at all. We are here for you, and we can't wait to see you take off in 2021. All right, so this is awards day, or award, the awards meeting for the month, which is also one of the favorite meetings. I love to celebrate. So let's get right into it. These are the numbers that are pulled from December of 2020. So here we go. So the highest closed volume is the expansion group is the price group. The group with the highest closed volume is Seamus Green Realty Group. The group team member with the highest closed volume is Katie Messenger. The team with the highest closed volume was the high school home team. And the individual for highest closed volume, we had one for commercial and one for residential. The individual for commercial was Jeff Wilkinson, and Miss Whitney Brown had the highest closed volume in our residential real estate. Congratulations, everybody. All right, let's talk about units. So we're looking at most closed units in December of 2020. The expansion group with the most closed units was the price group. The group with the most closed units was the Seamus Green Realty Group. The team with the most closed units in December of 2020 was Kentuckiana Bridge Realty. And the individual with the most units closed in December of 2020 was Miss Kelly Hostetler. Congratulations. Let's talk about those sales contracts taken, because that clearly is a very important step in moving things down the pipeline. And that shows an important action step. It's something that has to be done. So that is something that is tracked and should be celebrated. So Seamus Green Realty Group is the group with the most sales contracts taken. The high school home team had the most sales contracts taken as a team. And the individual was Jeff in commercial, and Taylor Maupin had the most sales contracts taken in the residential realm. Good job, Taylor. Most listings taken. Listings are king, and I don't think any one of us could love or appreciate a listing more than we do today. I think we're in the mid 1500s for active listings on the board, and that's for single family homes and condos, according to my hot sheet this morning. So the WSG is the group with the most listings taken. Louisville Home Hunter team had the most listings taken as a team. And Taylor Maupin took the most listings as an individual in December. Good job, everybody. Congratulations. Now let's talk about the largest residential units sold. Those are always fun days to get paid, if you will. And Steve Schuff and Katie Messenger closed on a $1,150,000 property in December. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to that one. Congratulations. And the agents who contribute most to KW Cares, this is very near and dear to my heart, and I hope and pray that it is yours as well. This is a big why. We have great careers so that we can do great things, and money is good for the good that it can do. And one good thing that it can do is go to KW Cares, and that helps our own in big ways and small ways. And once again, Ben and Emily Price are the largest contributing agents to KW Cares. Good job, guys. And then expansion group. So expansion, in case if you're newer to the group or it's just something you've never heard of, expansion is designed by Keller Williams because they understand that when you start to max out or kind of bump on the edges of your fishbowl within your local market, your local geographic market, well, you don't have to stop there. You can take your hub, your processes, your business, and expand into a different city, possibly a different state. There are some teams that have, I think, expanded across country lines for that matter. And we have expansion groups here in this office, and we want to celebrate those. And so we're looking at volumes here. The Price Group was #1 in volume for expansion group, and their volume was over $41 million closed year to date in 2020. Great job, Price Group. And the runner-up in the expansion world is River Valley Group, and they closed about $18.6 million in volume. Way to go. Great job, River Valley Group. All right, that first closing is something to get really excited about, and we want to lift these people up here and celebrate Abby Harrett, Annalise Small, and Jerry Lynn Waddell for their first closing with Keller Williams Louisville East. A round of applause. Good job, gals. Good job. And the first listing with KWLE, man, you're on the right track. Keep it going. Miss Laura and Samantha Marbury both took their first listings as a KWLE agent. Great job. Now let's talk about capping. What happens after you cap? You get to keep the balance of your commission, just short of that small royalty that comes out. But that is so huge. So you're motivated to cap because until you get to your next anniversary month, you get to keep more of your dollars that you earned. And that is a reward, and that is a gift, and it is well deserved. So Chrissy Lynch capped in 1 month, Christy Boland capped in 3 months, Crystal Clokey and Leslie Comstock both capped in 4 months, Cindy Blanton and Brittany Jones capped in 5 months, as well as Delicia Sullivan in 5 months. Cassandra Chapman capped in 6 months. Milton Ali capped in 9 months. And Anita Manise capped in 11 months. Way to go, cappers. Enjoy your beautiful pen. All right, let's all pause here and talk about the cultural icon. We do not take this lightly. This is an award that the staff and myself and Kim, our OP, we collectively discuss with a lot of thought what it means to be a cultural icon. And culture has always been a primary pillar for Keller Williams, and it is absolutely a primary pillar for Keller Williams Louisville East. Without culture, we're no different in so many ways than a lot of other brokerages out there. Culture sets us apart, and it is very important. And when we see people practicing culture and exuding culture and being an example for culture, we want to just put fireworks off about this person. And our cultural icon this year is a very special gal. And I have gotten to know her through definitely moving into the ALC, and she is raising her leadership hand so many times. And she stuck out as the cultural icon because she's like the queen of leaning in right now. She's relatively new to our brokerage. She came over from another brokerage, and she is just leaning into group coaching. She is leaning into all the training. When I taught Igniter, if I'm teaching, I see her teammates. She's building a team. I am so excited for her. And I know that 2021 is going to be amazing because because she is leading with culture, and we are watching. Rhonda Roberts is our cultural icon, and we are so appreciative of you. We couldn't love you more. Congratulations, Rhonda Roberts.
Thank you. It took me a second to get off mute, so thank you for that. I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you for leaning in, and we're just so grateful that we are able to see you embracing the culture and it's serving your business. And that's just the perfect aligning of the stars right there. We believe in that. That's where we are.
Thanks so much.
Mhm. All right, Legal Eagle. I think I saw Jenny Fields on today.
Yes, guys, I'm here. And one of the things I think we're going to talk about is the new ordinance that went into effect in Jefferson County. Okay, so this is a Jefferson County deal. And it's the fair housing. It's the fair access for rental housing, as we would call it. But it impacts more than just that. I think one of the emails that came through was all the conversation, all the classes are about how this impacts rental houses, but it impacts anything with housing, which is what we do for a living, right? And so here's the thing. What they basically did was they added some more protected classes where it is a violation to discriminate against, we know all the major ones, they've added a couple more. So let me just read it to you guys, make sure we're all on the same page, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. It is a violation of the ordinance to refuse to sell, purchase, exchange, rent, lease, lend, or deny brokerage service, or otherwise deny or withhold any housing accommodation from a person because of race, color, religion, national origin, familial status, disability, sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation. That's what it used to be. And they've added to that the lawful source of income, conviction history or arrest history, prior military service, or homeless status. Okay. Now, included in that lawful source of income is Section 8 income. If someone receives Section 8 vouchers for their rent, you cannot say, I will not rent to you because you're on Section 8. You cannot do that. Okay. You just have to, just like you would qualify anybody for your homes, you have to qualify them the same way. If I get $1,000 in vouchers, then that's just going to be considered like $1,000 of income, just like you would. Okay. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding about that. Okay. So it doesn't, I still have to meet the other qualifications. If you have a requirement and it's across the board for everybody, because you want to make sure that everybody who rents from you has the ability to be able to make their payments, then if you say, okay, you have to just, you have to demonstrate that you have 3 times the rental. If the rent's $1,000 a month, you have to demonstrate that you have income of $3,000, and that's from everybody. Then you can do that. What you can't do, obviously, is say, oh, well, I don't require that on any of my other houses, but on this one where you're on Section 8, I'm going to require that. That, of course, is complete discrimination, and you cannot do that. They also are talking about conviction history, arrest history. Really weren't supposed to ever take into consideration arrest history. But on convictions, there are certain convictions that you can take into consideration. If they're a lifetime registered sex offender, you do not have to rent to them. If they're a violent offender, you do not have to rent. There's certain violations, there's certain felonies that you're going to say, you can say, I'm not renting to people with these particular crimes, convictions on their record. In addition to that, there's kind of a catch-all, which basically just has, if they have, if they are current, obviously, anything that would threaten the health, safety, or right to peaceful enjoyment of the other residents. So now you want to be careful about catch-alls. You want to be really cautious about using them. There's a whole, I don't want to go into all the different ones. So just, do you have any questions about that? I can send this out to you guys. You guys probably saw it, the one that Glar sent out. I know that there was some, I can see there's some stuff popping up in the chat. It's hard for me to take a look at. If there's anything I need to respond to, just let me know. There's probably not, but if there is.
Jenny,
yeah.
So Jenny, I guess one of my questions would be about pets. So,
okay.
Knowing that I may have a multifamily and, and there's, you know, there's obviously different size dogs
Okay.
that fall under that. If there are, you know, a Chihuahua versus a, you know, a pit, or, you know, and so does that fall under that in any way? I know Harry has opined on that a little bit in the past, but does this ordinance affect that at all? And the second piece is, you know, I don't think Kentucky fans are a protected class as of yet. So I
Kentucky
think
what?
Kentucky fans.
Oh, Kentucky fans. Oh,
Yeah.
they are
So,
not.
okay, great.
So, okay, about the pets, here's where it gets tricky. Okay. One of the things, if you remember when I went through that list, you can't discriminate against someone because of a disability. Okay. You're not allowed to do that. And nobody, I really believe in my heart, no one on this call would hopefully ever be involved in that. But where it's gotten a little weird is we have like trained service animals, and then we've had emotional support animals. And you start getting into this, okay, you know, what if I come to you and say my pit bull is my emotional support animal and I'm required to have that? I need to have this emotional support animal. So one of the things that Kentucky did, and whether this would stand up to a federal scrutiny or not, I don't know. But at least, and I got to double check it because I haven't looked in the last year or so on this particular statute. But they passed a statute that says if I'm going to have an emotional support animal, I have to have an ongoing clinical relationship with, and there's a list of all these different types of therapeutic people. So a psychologist, a counselor, I think a social worker's on there, obviously a doctor's on there. So if I have an ongoing therapeutic relationship, which means I think I had to have met with them in the last year, that says I need this pit bull, this is part of my therapy and it's important, then you can't discriminate. That's not like a pet. Okay, that's not how that gets counted, right? Doesn't mean that I wouldn't be responsible for the damage caused by that, but you can't refuse to rent to me because I have this therapeutic animal. Now, that being said, you know, we've seen examples where that's gotten abused. And that's why the statute was passed in Kentucky that requires that I have this ongoing therapeutic relationship with somebody if someone's going to be considered an emotional support animal. So you are allowed to ask for documentation, not of what the disability is or anything like that, but just something from their doctor or from the person that's listed in that statute, their counselor or whatever, that this is that they're in an ongoing therapeutic relationship and this is required for their disability. That's it. It doesn't need to say what the disability is. It doesn't need to say anything else. And if they have that and you're allowed to ask for that documentation, then you can't say, I'm not renting to you, or do really anything negative. You can't require really a larger security deposit. Now, if the pit bull tears everything up when I move out, you can require me to pay for the damage, of course, right? But you can't fail to rent to me because of that. Does that make sense, Milton? Does that answer your question?
Yes. However, I'm still responsible for the insurance costs. So, especially of that, you know, the pit, Doberman, Rottweiler variety, right? So
Right.
I still have to pass on that cost, and any other type of, I have to deal with the repercussions of that, right? From an
So
insurance.
if you have somebody that's got legit letter that says, hey, this is a therapeutic animal, I would get that to your insurance guy too, because we don't want them discriminating either. And arguably, your compliance with that is costing you more money. Your compliance with the anti-discrimination statute. And I think hopefully most, I don't know, I think I would definitely pass that on to your insurance guy and say, hey, listen, I'm not sure that this is something that you can do or should do in this instance. So now if it's a violent animal, if it's got, you know, what we have the one bite rule, we used to at least have the one bite rule, then that's a different situation. What else
And
you got?
Milton, also, Cassandra Chapman just shared in the chat room some helpful info that may help you along for pet screening in a video. Thank you, Cassandra.
Got it.
Prop.
Everybody good? This
Jenny?
also protects homeless status is also a protected class, and prior military service is also protected. Hey, Brad.
Jenny, this is Brad. We have a question for you regarding
people, agents that are in our office using waiving their commission and using that as part of their down payment on the home. Could you explain how, if that's okay, number one, number two, how you guys handle it from a closing attorney perspective?
So do you mean I, as an agent, am buying a house?
That's correct.
Okay. So if I'm buying a house and I'm using my commission, so I'm the buyer, right? My commission is going to show up on what side? The seller side, right? So how do I get that over to the buyer side? How do I get that commission that I'm going to waive over to the buyer side? It has to be some kind of a credit from the seller to the buyer, right? It's the only way mathematically it would work.
Paging.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I have everyone. Okay. So that's one way to do it, is to just put something on there where the seller gives a credit to the buyer for X amount of dollars. And then of course, if you're going to do it that way, the lender has to be cool with it. The other thing that you could do, I guess, is you could probably do it through the checks, but the lender has to be aware of it. The lender will probably put that as a closing condition, saying, so here's this check, and for $5,000, and that's going to be used towards the down payment. And then we would want an email from the broker that just says, hey, this person has permission to endorse that check and use those funds at this closing. So there's a couple different options. One is we put it on the settlement statement, and then we don't have to get, nobody has to endorse a check. In that case, lender has to be cool with it. Lender has to be cool with it in either situation. The other option is the check gets cut to Keller Williams, and we get specific permission on that one check that would allow the agent to endorse the back of it. And then that could be used as funds. Obviously, the lender has to know where your funds are coming from.
Cool.
Everybody good? Does that answer questions?
Yeah, the bottom line is we need to close with borders so you guys can handle it, right?
That's right.
It's pretty easy. Yeah, that should not be a big challenge.
Brad, us as a market center, is there a stipulation on how many times you can do that? In other words, if you invested in a couple different properties during the year, maybe I'm not talking about down payment. I'm talking about not taking a commission.
I'm out of touch with this, Alyssa. Maybe more up to, it used to be 2 buys and 2 sells a year, but I'm not sure if that's still the case. Alyssa, do you know?
Yes, it's definitely 2 transactions a year, and there's some criteria to meet in terms of how long you've been with the market center and what your production over the last 12 months is. And we can get that email out to everybody so that I say it exactly accurate. Okay.
All right.
that doesn't
Any other
matter if
questions for
you're-
me for legal stuff?
I think that we're good.
All right, cool. Awesome. See you guys next week.
Thank you.
Jenny.
Thanks so much, Jenny.
Bye.
All righty. So let's talk about the market. As we've been doing every team meeting this year, we are looking at the last 7 days and what has listed, gone under contract, or closed. And in the last 7 days in the GLAR market, the Greater Louisville Association of Realtors, there have been 457 new listings that popped in the last 7 days. In the last 7 days, 625 they fell under the status of active under contract or pending. So when you read that stat, just kind of put your human brain on that and understand that there's a little bit of a sliding scale in terms of date. This does not exactly mean that 625 pended in the last 7 days. And 347 of those closed. We are still in a situation that we're not replenishing our listings. So guys, keep going out there, ask for those appointments, close those deals, and keep doing whatever it takes to get those listings. All right, let's go back to that culture. As you all already are starting to understand, and if you don't know, you will, culture is a huge part of my personal vision for Keller Williams Louisville East. It is to resharpen it, refocus it, and just blow it out of the water. I love Keller Williams culture. It's probably the number one reason that I'm here, if I'm being honest. So what we're starting to do is we started last week. We're taking a couple of the culture and action items this is a published list of culture and action items from KWRI, and it talks about what it means to be in culture. There's lots of different standards for how we behave, and there's standards and actions for what we do. So we're going to talk about number 5, number 6, and number 7. Number 5 is being in culture when you take the high road on confrontational issues or points of difference. Now, I don't know about you, but every once in a while in real estate, there's a little bit of confrontation, maybe with the cross agent, maybe with your own clients, maybe within your team, maybe with your team leader. We are never going to avoid confrontation. We're humans. We should have differences in opinion, yet there's a way to handle it. And we take the high road. We remain professional. We stay kind. We stay in curiosity. We seek to understand. That's huge. You will shine like the top of the Chrysler building when you take the high road in a confrontational situation that could have gone south in a cross sale. You will shine and you will teach somebody else too a very valuable lesson. So, number 6, living up to the covenant. If you were on the ALC, the covenant on the Associate Leadership Council means that they sign, and they're going to finish executing these month in our first meeting next week, a promise. Covenant means promise, to actions and standards and promises that they're going to keep and uphold, because being on the ALC is a privilege, and to have a seat on the ALC is a very important place that needs to be taken care of and needs to be respected and carried through. So you'll be living up to that covenant if you're an ALC member. And number 7 is representing the Market Center and the company in a positive way. Always smiling at others in the Market Center regularly. That's such a little big deal. And right now we have a mask on, so we smile with our eyes, right? But keep those smiles going and just stay focused on culture, because I think I heard earlier in the meeting, what you focus on expands. Let's stay focused on that culture and let's expand it here in the Market Center. All right, let's talk about education. That's part of our culture as well. This is the KW Connect opportunities every day at 1 and 4. Running down the list here today, you can leave a lasting impression with your listing presentation. Tune in, because listings right now are more competitive than they ever have been. There probably will be very few listings that you sit on that you're not going to be competing with somebody else, whether or not you know it. Definitely leave a lasting impression with your listing presentation. And then at 4 o'clock, there'll be a designs walkthrough Q&A. Tomorrow at 1, take market share through virtual client events. I've been in conversation with lots of agents here in the Market Center, and as a reflection of 2020, kind of one of the biggest bummers is that they had to cancel that client event. Client events are huge, and they're a huge pillar of a lot of our businesses. Well, let's take it virtual. We adapt. Tomorrow at 4, Wealth Building Wednesday. Thursday at 1, analyze your success metrics with command. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't have emotion, and success leaves clue. Understand your metrics and know how to track and analyze so that you can fill the gaps and grow your business in the way that you need to do so. And then at 4 o'clock, consumer walkthrough Q&A. Friday at 1, learning luxury series, leveraging KW value prop to grow. And then at 4 o'clock, of course, is Lifeline with Gary Keller, state of things in 2021. And then at Scott Leroy Marketing, always and ever so valuable. Today, there's a command overview. On Wednesday, the consumer app overview. Thursday, your database is your data bank, database management with Keller Williams. And on Friday, promote your listing in minutes, listings and landing pages. And then Monday, Facebook Ads 101. There is an admin mastermind on January the 20th at 12:30. Be sure to join in. And if you are a rainmaker and your admin's not here, be sure to encourage them to go and see how your admin can help grow themselves in your business as well. Write this down, get your calendars out, make a note. There is a blueprint for creating not just passive income, but millionaires through passive income. Jim and Linda McKissick have a goal for this region, which they own, to create more millionaires in this region. I don't know about you, but I would be interested in the word millionaire. And they've done it, and they are so good at teaching us how to do it. And so if you want to tune in this Thursday, January 21st at 1 o'clock, you do need to register. It is free, but they do need a registration. And then Miss Lisa Warfield is doing an in-person tech class in the KWLE training room. She's going to be talking about DocuSign. There are some agents who are moving towards that already. Command will start to take us in that direction sooner than later. It's exciting time. So Tuesday, January 26th at 2, there is a Zoom opportunity if that need is there. And there's your meeting ID and passcode. Thanks, Lisa. Also, while you've got your calendars out, tune into a class offered next Wednesday, which is already January 27th from 12 to 3, how to build a small, profitable team using showing assistants and ISAs with Jen Davis of the Holt Group and Adam Grady of Keller Williams Springfield. I've mentioned this before, but these are two uber successful people that focused on one part of their business, and that was to build their buyer side, and they required showing assistants. And then because they focused on it, it expanded, and they've blown it out of the water in terms of the amount of production that they're doing by utilizing leverage and making it work for themselves. And while we're talking about showing assistants, I want to pause on this. This is important. Listen up. Our market center has a goal to implement a showing assistant program here at Keller Williams Louisville East. There's going to be more to come as the ALC and some others start to build that out. But what a huge need for us when we need someone to open a door or meet our clients for perhaps a showing or maybe a home inspection, what have you, a final walkthrough. And we're going to process that so that you have a reliable showing assistant that you can call, and it'll have more of a predictable kind of process and accessibility there. We're super excited about it. More details to come. But with that being said, an email came out from Amy that is a Google sheet that asks a lot of questions. Jessica, you and Beth Siri are behind this as well. They're asking you about, do you need a showing assistant? How do you need a showing assistant? What might you pay? They're collecting information so they can build the program out to meet your needs. So stay tuned, and we look forward to talking about that more as it unrolls. We're going to do a dramatic fade in on this one. So family reunion is February 15th, the week of February 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th are the 3 longest days. Mark your calendars. It is low cost right now. Please make plans to attend. You will grow in ways that you probably don't even expect. And they have revealed the breakout session sneak peek. Everyone's questions now is, what are the breakouts? What are the breakouts? If you've never been to family reunion, there are a few kind of anchor speeches. Gary Keller makes one. There's a keynote. We talk state of the company, big deals. Awesome. Very, very important information to understand and listen and utilize. Yet they have breakout sessions that allow you to really customize what and how you want to learn and how you want to grow. So if you tune in here, I'm going to squint and kind of read a few of these here. This is just a sneak peek. This is not the exhaustive list by any means, but there's Burn Bright, build a solo business that's built to last. Build a scalable and sustainable admin only sales business. Learn to succeed with a small sales team. Coach and mentor your way to success with a large sales team. Scale your team's operations by using big models and systems. I don't know about you, but I'm already hearing KW My Way. There's lots of different agents who want to have lots of different types of business. High-end marketing strategies for luxury agents. Achieve service excellence. Deliver a luxury experience your clients will remember. Our market center is definitely putting a new and refreshed focus on luxury in 2021. But I'll let you read the rest of those. The bottom line is tune in. So the pillars and the promises that Keller Williams Realty International is promising to us for family reunion. Oops, I might let you spin back there just real super quick. Sorry. If it'll go back. Okay.
There it goes.
So they want more interactivity, more breakout sessions, more demonstrations, more game shows, which that's fun, more networking opportunities, more of everything. I have all the faith in the world that Keller Williams is going to blow this out of the water, and it will be worth your time and the arguably modest investment for what your return will be by being at family reunion. So please tune in and register. All righty, we have, I believe, Carla Higgins on the call today. And before she pops on, I want to talk about Carla for a minute. She is the amazing productivity coach for our market center. And she is just doing a phenomenal job coaching newer agents into productivity. You wouldn't believe the opportunities that she offers for script practice and just camaraderie and individualized coaching and just hours and time availability that fits someone who might be coming in maybe from a dual career. And she is a massive, massive opportunity, which her service is a massive opportunity for folks getting into productivity, and also for agents who are in productivity and looking to grow. Now, Rhonda is here on the call as well. She's going to talk with us about her experience with Carla and how that's going. Rhonda, could you share a little bit about what you're doing with Carla Higgins and your team?
Sure. So my team has been working with Carla since I think the end of November, early December. And one of the reasons that I wanted to bring Carla on board as part of our team is because so many of my agents on the team are newer. They've only been in the business maybe a year, year and a half, and they've had great year. The ones that have been in have had, great success already, and so excited for them. But wanted just to give them the opportunity to up their skills and up their accountability. And so those are all things that we work on together as a team. But I felt like the things that Carla offers gives them daily discipline to do those things. So she works with them on script practice, and they get to work with the agents out of the Indy office as well, other agents in our office. So they're not just practicing with me all the time or with each other. It gives them an opportunity to learn more and to really work on getting their conversation, working on getting better conversations in order to convert more leads.
Wonderful. And I apologize. I said Carla was on the call. She's not, but Rhonda is here. Rhonda, thank you so much for sharing. So if you are, definitely if you're newer, and maybe if you're not newer, and I know that you benefit from coaching, I would encourage you to think about getting in touch with Carla. If you need her contact, I'm always happy to be a liaison for that. Again, she focuses on the activities that it takes to convert business and close deals and grow your real estate business. It's as simple as that. It's success is simple. It's not easy, right?
And she has a few more, I'm sorry to pop back in, but she has more opportunities. It's not just script practice. So I don't want to let people think that, but there are opportunities. She does a productivity session on every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 that everybody can join in on. And that talks about different topics. One week was FSBO conversion. One week was open houses and how to do those. She gives you so many opportunities to learn throughout the week. There's a database building course that she does one night a week. If you know people who are studying to take the test, she does, there's a test group, I think once a week that she leads. So it's not just the script practice that is so beneficial. It's helping agents build a business across the board and learn the business particularly.
Absolutely. It's definitely coached to all that. What she does offer though, is she encourages people to kind of try out, maybe join a script practice, pop into a meeting, hop on a Sunday and just listen and see if it's for you. She wants you to be able to be fully committed and excited about knowing that it is a good fit if it does fit your needs. So thank you, Rhonda. Appreciate it. All right. And speaking of coaching, we have Paige Powers on the call. She is a MAPS coach, and she coaches Andrea Walker and Lindsay Vallandingham. And if for any reason you don't know, both of these women are tremendously successful agents in our market center. And no one is successful alone. We all need coaching. We all need leadership. We are all working together, and having a MAPS coach is, for many agents, a valuable next leverage piece that's required to get your business to the next level. We all need the accountability. We all need the leading. And Paige, if you're on the call, I would love for you to introduce yourself and say hello and tell us more.
Okay. Actually, Andrea had asked if she could introduce me. So I will let Andrea say what she wants to say, and then I will pop in after her.
Wonderful.
Say nice things, Andrea.
Okay. So Paige is a tiny little fireball. When you meet her, I wish we can go to family reunion this year so you guys could all meet her. But I want you to know, Paige, that you're so much more than a coach to me. She's really my confidant, my spiritual advisor. She's my friend. Before I started coaching with MAPS, I was really concerned because I gave myself enough bad self-talk, if you know what I mean, like not good enough, and all this stuff wasn't meeting up to the standards. And I really prayed, and I feel like God gave me Paige about 4 years ago. And she's honest, she's open about her personal life, she's relatable, but she challenges me, and she's helped me walk through very tough life situations and medical situations. So she's been a realtor since '94. She was a team leader for 11 years. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's something called a black belt in team leadership. And that's if you change a market center from a certain amount of people and you build it up. And Paige did that twice. And in one of those years, she had a net gain of 68%, which is pretty powerful to bring people into the market center. And she's been a coach for 6 years and loves her clients. And she's one of my dear friends. Here you go, Paige Powers.
Now I have to talk while I'm crying. That's not so easy. Thank you, Andrea. You are a true joy. So, and Lindsay as well. We've cried together and laughed together. But here's what I want you to hear. Last year, in 2020, Lindsay closed 28.3 more units than she did the year before. Her closed sales volume was up 39.3%. Listings taken were up 100%. And her GCI was up 43.4%, which was like 90,000. So I guess the question I would ask you is, would you make a $12,000 investment in coaching for a $90,000 return? Now, everybody's not going to get those same results. Lindsay and Andrea are getting the results because they are putting in the work. And so Andrea's closed units were up 60.3%, sales volume up 95.4%, listings sold up 85%, GCI up 71.4%. So really pretty impressive. And I'd like to just ask Lindsay if she would mind sharing with us what has changed. How has coaching changed the way you do business, Lindsay?
Thanks, Paige. Well, I have to start by saying that I started with Paige almost exactly 1 year ago, January 1st of last year, because I heard everything that Andrea just said. Andrea had said everything that she just told all of you, she said to me. And that sounded like the person that I needed in my life, because again, I'm pretty hard on myself, and I didn't feel like I needed someone to come in and, make me feel bad because I make myself feel bad. So that's why I started with Paige. But to answer your question, Paige, it's exactly what you said. It's an investment, because if you are someone who has a bone of accountability in your body, she's going to take that and she's going to influence that and raise that level of accountability. And I think that for all of us, when we just have somebody that's going to be checking in on us, that's going to be on our team, that is relying on us, it forces us to push ourselves to be the best we can. And I think that, I constantly have in the back of my mind, literally day in and day out, well, what would Paige say? And so having that little angel on my shoulder telling me, well, this is what you should be doing. You need to, sorry, my dogs are having a battle on my computer. That is what honestly motivates me every single day, to do the little things. It's, she's not my big why is what motivates me to do the big things, but Paige is what motivates me to do all the little things that get to the big things. And having that accountability in my life is what makes me get everything done that I need to get done to be successful.
Well, you are amazing. And one of the things about Lindsay that if you don't know, you probably do, because she takes responsibility for everything. She, to a fault. We have to work on not doing that sometimes. And so Lindsay, just watching you grow has been such a blessing. And Andrea, I mean, I consider you business partners, both of you, but I also have such great respect for you and consider you both friends. So things have changed a little bit at MAPS because we realized that we were, for a while, anybody who wanted to have a MAPS coach could pay the money and they could have one. And we recognized that if you're not making enough money to support the fees, you're going to leave and it's going to be disappointing. So we now, you can only be a mastery client if you earn $150,000 or more in gross commission income, and $75,000 to be a breakthrough client. So what I'd like to do is, if it's okay, Alyssa, is open it up for any questions that anybody might have. And then I have a few little training things I want to do. But does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Paige, do you do both so you do breakthrough and mastery?
Yes, Milton, I do. And I like you already because you're funny. I liked your Kentucky thing. Yes, I do. And as a matter of fact, that's a great question. I was originally hired by MAPS to be their breakthrough person. That they only gave me breakthrough clients initially. And my goal was to move those breakthrough clients up to mastery in 90 days. And I did so many, many times. I think breakthrough is a great place to start. And I'm not speaking for MAPS in general, but if you're on my schedule as a breakthrough, you'll talk to me every other week on my time. But then in between that, you're going to send me a report and tell me what you've been doing. And we might have a conversation about that. So, and just personally, I want you to know that it's my goal for you to at least get a return of investment of 300%. So if you put in 12,000, I want you to make 36,000 more than you would have made without me. And the same is true for breakthrough as well. My purpose in life is to joyfully empower others to succeed. That's what I'm about. That's what I love to do. And MAPS has been a great vehicle to allow me to do that. So I heard you have Carla, I believe, is your great productivity coach. Mm-hmm. If you're a newer agent and you can't afford coaching or you're not ready for it yet, take advantage. Take advantage. It sounds like she is amazing. And then when you can, graduate up to group coaching. There's a lot of group coaching out there right now. And eventually to breakthrough and then to mastery.
Exactly.
So any questions about that?
You answered my very question, and that was for agents. We've got newer agents who are on the call as well. Always be focused on some level of coaching where you are, because when you have that accountability and that great leadership, as Lindsay stated, a great coach will pull you to the next level when you show up. It's a team, it's a partnership, it is a business partnership. It's not a one-way magic button that happens by any means. I think anyone who's been coached, especially through MAPS coaching, they understand that. But when you understand that and you learn to love that accountability, you will blow your goals through the roof and you will have fun doing it. I can tell you that. Any more
Yeah, it's
questions?
like, it's been so much fun to watch Andrea. She's always been a great agent. She's evolving into an amazing businesswoman. And just, it's really incredible to get the experience of watching that happen. And Lindsay, I think, how much did I up your goal from what you wanted it to be at first?
For 2020?
Yeah.
More than I wanted.
No,
I
for
don't remember.
2021.
But for 2021, I think you probably doubled what I was comfortable with.
So do you want to be brave enough to tell them what you're doing?
Do it, Lindsay.
Thanks to Paige, I have an insane goal of of $16.5 million in volume and 60 transactions in 2021. So yeah, we'll see. We're gonna do it.
We can't wait to see you do it.
Oh, she's going to do
You're
it.
very comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes, Lindsay, you'll do it.
Yeah, she'll do it. And Andrea, how about you?
So my goal for this year is 12 million, 60 transactions. Lindsay blows my mind. This will literally be her 3rd year in real estate, and she's just blossomed. Just amazing. I got the privilege of being with Lindsay when she was in productivity coaching. I sat over there with them and got to script practice with them, and just am blown away. And part of it is because she, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, and Lindsay has been ready, and I can't wait to see all that you get accomplished. But don't forget to love on those boys.
Oh, they're the cutest things too. Only not so cute when you're trying to work from home all the time. Okay,
Paige,
so
I'll say one more thing that you taught me early on in coaching, and I've used this analogy a lot. For those of you who won't bite the bullet because you think the money is too much, let me give you an example. When we close our fist up because we're so nervous about letting go of the pennies, we cannot open our hands to receive all of God's blessing and all of the dollars he's going to give us. When I had to call my accountant this year and say, what am I going to do with this $100,000 that's sitting in my real estate account? Do I give myself a bonus because I've already paid myself? Do I take a distribution? He was like, girl, what did you do this year? And I told him my GCI, and he was like, well, crap, because I had to figure it out. But never did I think that I was ever going to do that, and you have to let go. You have to let God bring the blessings to you, and don't worry about the pennies. That's what I say.
thank you. Thank you. So what I would like to do, because I really believe in giving, is spend a few minutes talking about profit share. I don't know how many of you get profit share. If you don't, you should. And if you do, I'd like to give you some advice on how you might grow that profit share. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I have 22 people in my first downline, and many of you will say, but you were a team leader. That is true. I was a team leader for 11 years, but only 3 of those people in my first downline were people that I put in my downline that I recruited, and I recruited them because nobody else had given me their name. So as a team leader, I was recruiting for the people in my office. which is exactly what's happening in your office. And I'm so glad to have the team leader here and all of you so that we can learn this together. And I know we don't have much time, but so there are three things you need to do. The first one, just be nice. And I loved the culture piece. Just go be nice out there. That's what Mo would want you to do. And please keep her in your prayers. She is in the hospital, in the ER, has been for about a week with a terrible COVID rash. She's in a tremendous amount of pain. She's over the COVID, but she's got this rash. So, but you know, Mo used to always tell us to be nice. And then the second thing you need to do is be willing to do both sides of the transaction. If the agent that you're co-oping with hasn't been trained as well as you, or doesn't do things exactly right, you do it for them as much as you can. And remember to stay into curiosity and out of judgment. Most of the agents out there that don't know what they're doing because they aren't at a company that teaches them what to do. And then the third thing, and this is really fun, sometimes it's hard, but it's really fun, is think of something that you like about that person. Maybe they were funny, maybe they were just really spot on every detail. Maybe, it doesn't matter. Think of something that you like about that person, and then tell Alyssa, I just co-opted with John Doe. He was hilarious. Even though this was a really tricky transaction, he made it fun. And I did truly enjoyed him. And then let Alyssa call John Doe and say, hey, I was talking to Andrea Walker and she just happened to mention that she co-opted with you, and it was, you just guys had a ball. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And so Alyssa, you have broker metrics, right?
I do.
Okay. So before Alyssa calls him, she's going to go into broker metrics and she's going to figure out what kind of year he had last year. And she's going to mention something about that, because here's the key. You guys are not trained to recruit, right? She is.
Right.
She is. So let her do what she's really good at. And then that person goes into your downline. And sometimes agents make the mistake of thinking they have to take that recruit under their wing and really train them. No, I just looked at your training calendar. There's all the training in the world that they need. Just be there for them. Just be there for them.
If I may, Paige, I'd like to follow that up.
I'd love it.
Those are my favorite calls. And many of you are very good at getting those compliments over to me, either directly to me, or we have a great process opportunity through our MCA. And I'm going to share an example. Just this morning, I received a compliment from an agent who did a cross sell with BJoy, and everybody loves BJoy. She did too, but BJoy also loved her. And so I gave her a call and I looked at broker metrics before dialing her number, and I got to say, BJoy loved working with you on 123 Sunnyside Lane. He thought you were extremely professional, and we are so thankful to be able to share business with agents like you. It makes the deal better, and our clients always end up with more success and joy, a better experience, which that's invaluable. And by the way, I saw that your business went from 1.5 million to almost 7 million in the past 12 months. What are you doing? And that opened up a 20-minute valuable conversation. She was energized because she was complimented. I was energized because I was sharing gratitude. We got to learn about each other. We got to create a relationship. We got to highlight BJoy and share so many good things. And it helped her be open-minded to possibly being a a guest at family reunions. So we get to use that as a platform to show our Keller Williams culture. And when we do that, we are able to grow other agents and their businesses, because that's why I don't even like to really use the word recruit. I truly believe that agents will have a better business when they affiliate with Keller Williams Louisville East as a result of everything that we have to offer and the culture that we have. And I love to share that with people. My goal as a TL is to grow other people's business through Keller Williams and to grow your profit share through that vein. And that's exactly what happened this morning on my call.
I love that story. And I have to tell you that I have to leave because I have a coaching call that I'm on the way to.
Oh, sorry, Paige. Thank you so much. We have to get off too, but thank you, Paige. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Email me. I'd love to put you in my schedule.
All righty. All right, guys. We have spent a great hour. Thank you for your time. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you all, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.